Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Zellgert. I am a sci-fi author who writes about autism in sci-fi and adventure stories. Today I thought I'd do something a bit different, and I'm going to be writing a story in 15 minutes. I've got my phone here, and I have a spinner, as you can see on the screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the spinner, find out what I'm writing, and I got 15 minutes to do it, so it's going to be very, very strange. If you can't tell, this was cobbled together last second. I wasn't planning to do this, but hey, YouTube entertainment, am I right? Alright, so let's spin the wheel. Fantasy, so we are doing fantasy, okay. As all of you know, my main home territory is sci-fi and adventure. I've never really dabbled that much in fantasy, so this should be fairly interesting. So I have got myself a bit of a setup here. A grid title. I have 15 minutes to write this, so this will be very interesting for everyone. I'm going to call this Fantasy Story 15 Min. You are quite literally about to see my work process flow here. I am going to save this quick, just a second. Alright, and our story is saved. So I'm going to set the alarm now, which is going to be, just a second, I need to go here. And 15 minutes, let's go. Alright, fantasy story. So when I think fantasy story, I think of woodlands. So I'm going to say woodland. I think elves. I think dwarves. I think, I don't know. Yeah, dwarves. I also think of, what comes to mind? Well, very, very natural landscapes here. So not only do we have natural landscapes, we also have these characters, these very strange characters. Dragons. Dragons are a thing. Like, you can tell this isn't my wheelhouse, because I'm just listing the very obvious tropes of fantasy. I think this is all we're going to go with here. We need some kind of conflict. And I'm thinking, maybe... Okay, I'm going to steal a leaf out of Tolkien's book, and I'm going to use a refusal to adventure. There's a call to adventure, the character doesn't want to use it. They don't want to accept the call, like in The Hobbit. So that is what I'm going to do. So, let's begin. So I'm thinking we're going to establish our story in some kind of natural setting, so a woodland. How about in the twisted woodlands of the East? I think that's capitalized. We're not going to check this as we go. We're just going to write this straight out. In the twisted woodlands of the East, there lived a elf by the name of... No, not elf. Let's do dwarf. Dwarf by the name of Borodin. Borodin. No, it doesn't sound right. Let's call him by the name of Grunt. Grunt? No, that sounds like an ogre name. What should we call him? This is very interesting. In the twisted woodlands of the... No, not woodlands. Yeah, let's do woodlands. There lived a elf. Let's do darkness. I do really, really like ambiance. So, in the dark caverns, shrouded in mystery, far out east of the woodlands of... We'll just leave a space and continue. There lived a dwarf by the name of Grunt. He had a long, gray beard that reached down to his toes with fraying hair and an ornate silver robe. He was a scholar by trade and appreciated the little things in life, such as, oops, save. So, let's see. In the dark caverns, shrouded in mystery, far to the east, mystery, east of the woodlands of Shren. We're gonna call it Shren. The woodlands of Shren. There lived a dwarf by the name of Grunt. He had a long gray beard that reached down to his toes, with fraying hair and an ornate silver robe. He was a scholar by trade and appreciated the little things in life. From ants that scurried the ground to the rustle in the leaves. Despite his dwarven heritage, okay, if I can spell heritage, sorry, OCD. Despite his dwarven heritage, he always longed to be with his, He always preferred to explore the wonders of nature in contrast to the dark, musty tunnels of a mountain's roots. We'll think about that. I'm gonna underline and continue. Alright. So, what do we got? Despite his oh my gosh, I gotta, there we go. Oh, actually, I want you. There we go. From ants that scurried the ground to the rustle in the leaves, despite his dwarven heritage, okay, this is a different thought, so I'm going to format this a bit nicer. Alright. Dwarven heritage, he always preferred to explore the wonders of nature in contrast to the dark, musty tunnels of the mountain's roots. Where the pickaxes sung of sorrow and the gems glistened in the emptiness of black. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. Where this pickaxes sung of sorrow and the gems glistened in the emptiness of black. Alright. Grunt preferred the wonders. No, preferred walks outside in contrast to... this is interesting here. Grunt preferred walks outside in contrast to the monotonous routine that had become his... that had been his life for over 100 years. Make it more casual. 100 years. Over 100 years. We're having a more laid-back narrator for this story. Sorry. I know probably a bad time, but stay hydrated, kids. Okay. Grunt preferred walks outside in contrast to the monotonous routine that had been his life for over 100 years. The leaves rustled. Did I already use a leaf analogy here? The leaves rustled and birds chirped joyfully as the sounds of life frolicked. I know I spelled that wrong. Frolicked? Oh my gosh, how do you spell frolicked? I really hope that's how you spell frolicked. Okay. Frolicked amongst his bare, hairy feet. The soil embedded itself in his toes, and I need to think for a second. So let's just back up a second. I don't even want to know what time it is on the clock right now. In the dark caverns shrouded in mystery east of the woodlands of Shren, there lived a dwarf by the name of Grunt. He had a long gray beard that reached down to his toes, with fraying hair and an ornate silver robe. He was a scholar by trade and appreciated the little things in life, from ants that scurried the ground to the rustle in the leaves. I did use a leaf analogy, whatever. We'll make it a motif or something. Or a theme, I guess. Despite his dwarven heritage, he always preferred to explore the wonders of nature in contrast to the dark, musty tunnels of the mountain's roots. I think I'm gonna say the mountain's roots, simply because I feel like it adds more emphasis to his home he's had for the past 100 years, where the pickaxes sung of sorrow and the gems glistened in the emptiness of black, to signify he doesn't like his home very much. Grunt preferred walks outside in contrast to the monotonous routine that had been his life for over 100 years. The leaves rustled and the birds chirped joyfully as the sounds of life frolicked amongst his bare, hairy feet. The soil embedded itself in his toes, and life, no. No, not Mother Nature. The soil rustle embedded itself in his toes. I feel like, actually, we can connect this as one sentence. So, the leaves rustled, birds chirped joyfully. Oh, and this is Biss, not his. Okay. No, I think we're going to keep it like that. And birds chirped joyfully as the sounds of life frolicked amongst his bare, hairy feet, himself in his toes, and his robe dragged on behind him, smoothing the grass as he went. Grunt took a deep breath of fresh summer air as he lowered an enormous battle axe and gently rested it against a knobby wooden tree that had been there as long as he could remember. It'd be helpful if I could spell things right. But I'm starting to realize that the clock is a thing, and I don't honestly know when this is going to end. So I want to see how far I can make this go. Alright, that had been there as long as he could remember. The tree, I feel like we should put some emphasis, some idea on the tree. The tree, had markings of the Dwarven Covenant inscribed upon its flaky surface, almost as if the founders of the dwarves themselves had, let's see. The tree had the markings of the Dwarven Covenant inscribed upon its flaky surface, almost as if the founders themselves had taken a good look at it. Let's see. Grunt longed to meet the founders someday, but he wasn't certain about... I apologize, the furnace just kicked in. Alright, let's see. Someday. Longed to meet the founders someday, but he knew he was not skilled nor worthy enough to justify a visit to their majestic city in the clouds at the very tip of the mountain's surface. No, not tip. Let's say summit. At the summit, which means we don't need very. At the summit of the mountain's surface. So skilled, not worthy enough to justify a visit to their majestic city in the clouds. At the summit of the mountain's surface, where the winds were brisk brisk, where the winds were brisk, with chilling authority, and the snow fell evermore. Actually sounds pretty good. Evermore. As Grunt sat there, lost in thought. Wait, no, he can't have sat there because he's been walking, so I need to find a way to transition there. So, let's see. Brush fresh air. Grunt, as Grunt stood there, lost in thought. Thought a faint rustle could be heard amongst the leaves. A faint rustle heard amongst the leaves. Oh my gosh, my throat is so dry. I swear this is gonna be a problem later because I keep drinking water. Though it is good for you, children. Children, you should be drinking water. Okay, as Grunt stood there, lost in thought, a faint rustle could be heard amongst the leaves. How do we segue from kind of this, how do we put it, I can only think of it as stratus clouds, like a contemplative thoughtfulness to a sudden concern. I'm trying to think, how can we do this? A faint rustle could be heard amongst the leaves. Maybe he's not concerned, actually. Maybe he thinks Bambi's gonna come out. I don't know. Aww. And that's the end. Dang nabbit. So, I'm gonna have to stop now. Alright. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was mildly interesting to you. So this is my fantasy story. I wrote 290 words in 15 minutes. Now, please bear in mind, this is very unrealistic for what I would normally do, because this is a genre I have rarely dabbled in. Like, I think I've only written 1 or 2 fantasy pieces in my lifetime. So this was very much out of my wheelhouse. I was testing a lot of ideas that I don't normally test. I hope you found it interesting. And I want to hear from all of you down in the comments below. Do you have a suggestion for something I should try next? Do you think I should do this again with maybe the spinner? Do you have another time frame suggestion? Please let me hear your thoughts down in the comments below. But outside of that, I'd like to thank you all for watching and hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye!